Hi, this is Coach Brian with Cause Events, and this is Coach's Corner. Hi, this is episode 2 of our exercise series. Again, we're focusing on the runner. All right, I've got Claudia, Rojas, Herrera here again with me, and we're going to go over some more exercises for runners. So what do we have today?
Okay, so in the past episode, thanks for inviting me again. And by the way, also follow Claudia Herrera, SCD-PT. I have a YouTube channel also with a lot of rehabilitation ideas and exercises for everybody part. We talk about...
I'll put your YouTube channel down in the description box so you can find it. And a lot of her stuff is in Spanish too.
Yeah. So we talked in the previous episode about the structural risk factors that we have for runners and how to overcome those. So today we'll talk about movements. There's this guy, Gray Cook, he's a famous PT who developed this, it's called the FMS, the Functional Movement Screen. You can research more about it. He developed it for football players that were constantly getting injured every season, despite, they got rehabilitation, and I'm not talking about trauma, right? Like overuse injuries from repeated movement and stuff like that. So he said, okay, let's see what is the weakest link of these people, right? Where are they moving in the wrong way, right? That is not supporting their needs. So we look at a screen of 6 movements. Today, for the runner, we're going to talk about 2 or 3, right? One is the squat, right? So we all think we know how to squat. We're going to use a bar. You can try anything so you don't use your hands for balance. But if you need to use your hands for balance, that's okay. This is the ideal situation. So you want to have your feet hip-width apart, and you want to squat, bringing your hips as low as your knees, if possible. Let me go on the side view. You're going to check that, your trunk is as vertical as you can. And I'm also checking for shoulders, right? Of course, people with a hunchback or shoulder issues, they might look like this. People, as we mentioned, with valgus, with your knees knocking in, might do this. Or people that have weakness in the glute medius, your lateral muscles, they do also like this, or they open their stance, right? Because their muscle is not supplying good stability, so they just open like a tripod. So this is telling me, as a clinician, if you have good mobility of your everything, shoulders, thoracic spine, hip, knees, and most importantly, your ankle. A lot of runners, they don't have a lot of dorsiflexion, the mobility on your ankle, and that results in a lot of issues from sprains to tendinopathies and so on, right? So there's ways to make that easier. If you're doing it perfect, good for you. Practice that like 20 times, twice a week, so you have that good form. That's going to translate into, having good form for many miles with good mobility and stability. If you are having trouble with that, you can grab a wall, same hip width apart, and let me take this again. Again, try not to use your arms, so we're really just assessing your waist and down. So now the wall is helping you with support, and you're working in mobility, if that is a problem, right? So you can hold it 1, 2, 3, and go. And then little by little, try to do it without arm support. If that is too easy, especially for sometimes younger athletes that are recovering from injuries, we want to check if they're ready to go back to their sport, but they have good mobility. So you can put like a half roll or a towel. And now you're going to dorsiflex or stretch your calves a little bit more. So it should be harder. I don't know if I can do it at 52, but so you're going to squat, and you can tell that's challenging my balance because I have to keep my heels down, right? But if I don't have the flexibility in my calf and my ankle joint, then it's going to be hard. Okay.
I see a lot of people use a large weight plate when they're doing squats. Is that accomplishing the same thing?
Where do you see the weight?
Well, they're putting their toes on the weight, and they're squatting down with...
Oh, that's a good trick to try to use both muscles symmetrically, right? Because sometimes some of us will have a dominance, meaning like we have a leg that is stronger, right?
Yeah.
So another trick that I use with patients is sometimes, let's say this is not too heavy, you want to use a unweighted ball, right? But if you want to be sure you're recovering from a knee, whatever, ankle or hip injury, and you know that one side is weaker or is not putting too much weight because of pain, then you want to squeeze. This is not ideal. You want something not weighted, but a plastic ball, right? And then you do it going up and down, squeezing together.
Oh, okay.
So that ensures that your body weight and the muscles are working symmetrically, right? Yeah. So that's the idea behind. The other movement is the hurdle, right? So again, if you think of it, running is being on a single leg too many times, right? And then when we start losing strength, you see people, again, we were talking in the other episode, after 10 miles or whatever, you start seeing runners dropping one hip more than the other one, right? They run like this, or you can see that they're just dropping on one side. Again, that means that one of their hip muscles or glute medius is weaker, and there's exercises for that. But one good way to assess is you're gonna grab like a stick that is the same length than your tibia or your leg bone, right? Because, you know, my knees are different from a tall guy or a shorter guy. Thank you. So for me, this would be like ideal height, right? And what I'm gonna do with the hurdle, again, you wanna avoid using your arms for this one, unless, you know, your balance is really bad, but you wanna cancel the help from your hands, right? So we're gonna go up and down, and you're gonna compare sides. If you see, for example, this side is doing better, right? It's telling me that my hip, knee, and ankle are landing properly, but also that the right side has good stability. See what happens here? I'm recovering from an injury in the left leg, and as you see, I have to like go out a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
So as a clinician, that tells me, okay, something is wrong on this side with mobility. I have to work for that, or on this side for stability, right? And that gives you the idea of, you know, what to do. If stability is the issue, thank you so much. We talked the other day about doing exercises with a band for your hip abductors. Again, I'm gonna mention those. So again, when you need too many miles with good form to avoid injuries, you want your glutes to hold you straight, right? So you can do a lot of these exercises. But if you're hurting a lot and you want to start with something easy, you can do, we call them Parrot Morgan, right? So just grab a wall, and you're going to push with the outside of your leg against the wall. 1, 2, 3, and relax. You're going to feel like you're strengthening this glute, the one close to the wall. Mm-hmm. You're really working on the weight bearing leg a little bit more, right? So you're going to push 1, 2, 3, and relax, maybe 10 times. And again, we always say compare to the other side, right? You're going to see the difference, especially when you're coming from an injury. That's the side that you need to work the most, right? So we talked squat, hurdle, and then the last one is going to be the single squat, all right?
Okay. So I did that one today.
Yeah, how did it go?
I was surprised because I thought this leg, which didn't have any significant injuries over the past couple of years, was going to be the stronger leg, but this leg was.
You want to show us?
Okay. So, you know, I was out a little bit. I don't know. Is my form correct here?
Yeah. Keep it apart.
Okay. So
So you try like maybe 10 of those?
Yeah, 10 of those.
Let me see the other side. So, my dear, I remember you mentioned the scoliosis, but you feel like you want to check your form, right? And then you have the same endurance to do maybe 10 on each side, or 20 is ideal to start with. Mm-hmm. When my patients are progressing, right, then you want to start to hold it, you know, like maybe 10 seconds or so, and maybe 20, and 30, and 60, and then change, right? So, again, compare side to side. Again, that translates on, you know, avoiding injuries for long miles and keeping good form on your pelvis without dropping when you're running, right?
Yeah, I noticed that after 8, I started to get really weak. But I could do 10 here, no problem. And it's like, I was surprised because I had this leg in a cast earlier this year, and not this leg. This was even though it's not my dominant side, it was the one that got all the exercise for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And to find out it's suddenly weaker than this leg was a surprise to me, and it was because we went over this exercise before.
Mm-hmm. So that's it. Remember, for mobility, practice and check screen results to see how you're doing a squat. If it's too easy, make it harder so you have more mobility of your ankle, putting on a towel roll or a half roll. If it's too hard, go to a wall and use a pillow or a ball in between. Check the hurdle with the length of your tibia. Just grab a strap and measure if you have good mobility of the hip, knee, and ankle, and stability of the opposite side. Otherwise, you have exercise to work on, the lateral shuffle ones and the Captain Morgan, and the single leg exercises, right, to compare. Just like when you're spinning, there's those where you're just spinning on one leg versus the other one, where you use both. But sometimes we don't realize that we're loading one more than the other one. Mm-hmm. So I hope these tips help you.
Okay, great. So thanks for watching this video. I hope it was beneficial to you. Again, please like and subscribe. Leave comments if you have any. You can get a hold of me. My contact information will be at the end of the video. There, I will have her YouTube site down in the description box, so you can find her stuff, which is more related to more physical therapy things, and it will be of benefit to you, especially if you speak Spanish. So all my Spanish-speaking friends, there's room for you at the table too. So I want you to just have a great evening. We enjoy doing these videos. I'm not making any money off of these things. I do these because I really want to see you guys succeed. So with that, I'm going to say good night, and we'll see you later.